Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Cory Young. Welcome, Cory.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
We had a great conversation just yesterday. I look forward to today's conversation.
Yeah.
Cory, you're down in Australia, but a little bit of
hmm
background about yourself.
Yep. So first of all, I love adventures. I love going on adventures, traveling,
Uh
but I'm
huh.
also a quadriplegic. Because at the age of 20, I just turned 20. I broke my neck surfing, and yeah, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. I can move my arms, but they don't work 100%. Yeah, but I've lived my life as a quadriplegic for 28 years.
Wow.
It's not easy.
No.
But yeah, travel the world. I have a business and I have a very, lovely wife. But my story, yeah, as we're going to find out, is pretty traumatic. And yeah, I've overcome a lot of obstacles. Let's put it that way. So,
Yes. So, Cory, for the audience that doesn't know, what exactly happened? How did you come to what you are right now?
yep. So, you want me to talk about the accident itself, if that's cool?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I'll just share a bit of background. So I grew up very athletic. So I played a lot of sports. I raced motocross, uh, played rugby. I was a boxer, skateboarder, had
Uh huh.
horses, rode horses. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
But my passion was surfing, and I started surfing at the age of 10. And by the time I was 15, I was going in a few competitions for surfing. Nothing major. I wasn't going to be a pro surfer or anything like that. But my dream was to move from South Australia, where I currently am now, when I was 15, to move to the Gold Coast, because the Gold Coast has the best waves in Australia, some of the best
Okay.
waves. So at the age of 16, I got that opportunity to move to the Gold Coast, and I was working in construction about 3 or 4 days a week, just enough to pay my rent, earn some money,
Sure.
and just surf. I
Yeah.
was surfing
That's
every day.
good.
Yeah, I was living my dream. I was
Uh-huh.
honestly living my dream. And
Very cool.
yeah, and in between the age of 16 and the age of 20, yeah, just traveling around Australia, just surfing all the time, just having an absolute ball. At the age of 20, I just came back from Bali, Indonesia for a big surf trip, had a
Okay.
ball, and yeah, 25 days after my 20th birthday, like I said, I work in construction. I got a phone call from my boss, and it was on a Sunday night. And the
Mhm.
following day was a public holiday, and you're not supposed to work a public holiday. But the
Right.
job site, yeah, but the
Uh-huh.
job site was a bit behind. So my boss rang me up. He said, "Look, tomorrow, Corey, I know it's a public holiday, but do you mind coming into work? I've got this job site. We're behind. Can you please come in? I'll pay you good cash money." I was like, "Yep, no worries." So I drove into work. I had to drive 100 kilometers from home to a
Okay.
place called Brisbane, and I was working on a hospital. I was working on the extension of a hospital.
Okay.
And I was working away, and I remember just having this conversation with another guy I was working with. We were talking about all the things we did and the sports. And he said, "Corey, have you ever broken a bone in your life?" And I was like, "No, stacked it heaps of times, hurt myself really bad, ended up in
Mhm.
hospital, but
Uh-huh.
never broken a bone." And I remember plain as day, I just bent down and I touched a piece of wood and I said, "Touch wood, I never break a bone in my life."
Uh-huh.
So I kept working. We finished about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, jumped in my car, and being a surfer, the first thing I thought about was going for a surf. So I went to my
Yeah.
favorite surf
Yeah.
break, got to the beach, and honestly, the waves weren't very big. Everyone always thinks the waves were huge, but they're only about a meter high. It was
Okay.
very overcast, cold. It wasn't the best surfing conditions, but I was excited. I was out there,
Uh-huh.
right? So I paddled out, I caught a few waves, and then I remember sitting on my board, and I remember the wave that I had my axe on very clearly. The wave came, and I paddled for the wave. And when you're surfing, you either go left or right down the wave, depending what's good. I looked
Okay.
left, and it looked really good. So I got to my feet, and I was surfing along the wave. And then just as the wave was about to what we call close out, just dump on the beach, I
Okay.
popped up on top of the wave, and I floated across the top. And as I was floating across the top of the wave, I just slipped off, and I slipped off head
Uh,
first. So
wow.
I slipped off head first in the diving position. So, this is my head. I'm upside down like this, my arms out like Superman, and I just hit the sand. It wasn't dry sand. The water was about 2 foot deep.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's the equivalent of someone diving into a very shallow swimming pool. That's the best way to
Oh,
describe it.
wow.
So I hit the bottom and with my head, and I was instantly paralyzed. And at the time, I didn't know I was paralyzed. I just
Okay.
knew something was wrong. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I was fully conscious, and I'm laying there floating around. I was like, something's not right. Like, I can't get my head out of the water. I can't move my arms. I can't. Something's just not right. So, as you can imagine, being face down in the water, my lungs started burning, and I was running out of air, and it
Yeah.
was, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm in big trouble here.
Yeah.
So, I was running out of air, and then just as I was about to run out of air, a wave rolled me over just enough to get my mouth out of the water. So the wave rolled me over, and I got my mouth just out of the water, just enough like this, and then back down again. And I was back down, face down. And at this point, I'm fighting. I'm trying to keep my mouth closed, stop the water coming in.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where my lungs are burning and I couldn't hold on anymore. And I was just like, this is it. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
die. So
Yeah.
in that situation, I just started thinking about my life. I started reminiscing about my life and everything like that. And then I tried to fight again. And I gave it everything I had. I fought again,
Oh,
kept my
yeah.
mouth closed. And just as I kind of let go and was just blacking out, a Japanese tourist grabbed me and rolled me over in the surf. And
Wow.
yeah,
Excellent.
it's pretty crazy because
Yeah.
the beach is a very surfing beach. Like, not many people walk along there. So you'd never see anyone walking along. They're either surfers, or it was a very, yeah, isolated kind of beach.
Okay.
And so anyway, he rolled me over. I'm swearing at him, get me out of the water, get me out of the water, using profanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was in a panic. And anyway, my friend Caroline, she was a surfer, a really good
Okay.
surfer, and she's a nurse. She saw what happened. So she came over with a few people. They floated me on my back, supporting my neck and my body, just using the waves gently to pull me up onto shore. I was screaming. I was like, I thought I was still
Oh,
gonna die.
I
And
yeah.
I was saying, like, call my girlfriend because I'm gonna die on the beach.
Yeah.
Anyway, my girlfriend did come. She came down the beach screaming, and then I just blacked out. And that's
Mm.
my
Wow.
accident pretty much. Yeah.
Wow. It just goes to show you never know when life can change in a split second. That's for sure. So,
It's yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're dead right.
but going forward with our conversation last night, you really have made lemonade out of lemons. I mean, you really
Yeah, yeah,
have.
yeah,
I mean, I was telling you before we started recording, I looked at your YouTube channel and stuff, and so what was the journey to get you to being, because you're positive, your
yeah.
passion for helping people. How did you get to that point, or what did it take to get to that point?
Yeah, it was a long road, it was a lot of
I
work,
bet.
that's for sure, and every day's still a choice. Like, I'm gonna be
Oh, I
honest,
bet
like,
too.
even this morning, I woke up, as soon as I opened my eyes, I'm like, "Here we go again." It's gonna take me 3 hours to have a shower, get ready. I have to be in a wheelchair. I'd rather be surfing, I'd rather be doing other things, but yeah, so in a nutshell, I'll go back and explain more. So
Okay.
obviously I had to go to hospital. Yeah, they flew me. So what happened was they took me to a hospital, they did tests, it confirmed I had a spinal injury, and then
Mm.
they put me in a helicopter and they told my family to kiss me goodbye because there was a very high chance I wouldn't make the flight. And
Wow.
some people kissed me goodbye, some people didn't. They're like, nah, he's gonna make it. And anyway, in a nutshell, they flew me in the helicopter back to the job site that I was working that day.
Oh, wow.
It was the extension of the Princess Alexander Spinal Unit. So how's that for just
Wow, that is that I don't know what the
crazy?
word is there. That is just,
Yeah,
that's life works that way sometimes. It's really
yeah.
wow. I
So
mean,
my room overlooked my job site and all my
huh,
work. The only positive thing is my mates could come in and visit me, but
well, yeah,
that's just a crazy thing. So obviously I had to go through rehab. I won't go into too much, but yeah, I was pretty much like a baby. I had to learn how to look after myself again.
I can
Had
see
a lot of
that.
care. Had to, learn how to be a wheelchair user. But what
Yeah.
happened is for the first year, because I'd cheated death a few times,
Mhm.
my accident, then a blood clot in hospital. Then while I was in hospital and the doctor was telling me, you're paralyzed, you may never walk again. 5 minutes later, I found out my two best friends died in a car accident. So
Wow.
I had a lot of stuff going on.
What a
But then what happened
huh,
was in that first year, because I'd cheated death, I was so positive and so happy I was on top of the world.
Mhm.
And, yeah, and the doctors said that he's gonna come crashing down to my family. They're like, "Reality's gonna hit him, and it's gonna hit him like a truck." And
Yeah.
exactly a year to the day, on the 25th of May, 1999, a year to the what
Okay.
is it? Exactly a year later, I was down the beach, and I just lost it.
Really?
Mentally,
Wow.
I ended up in a mental health ward, mental health hospital, and I just couldn't
Why?
deal with it. So for the next
Wow.
6 years, well, probably 4 years, I was a wreck. I had anxiety, depression, I was suicidal, like, I just couldn't
Wow.
cope. Um, yeah, then became addicted to alcohol and drugs, got married, got divorced, went through heaps of things. But to get back to the question you were saying, so what happened was after years of feeling so depressed, so anxious, just hating my life, hating being in a wheelchair, it got to the day where I was like, today's the day. Like, I'm either going
Okay.
to kill myself or I'm going to do
Yeah,
something. So
one of the
I, yeah.
okay.
So I wrote a note, I planned everything, and I remember sitting in the shower for about 3 hours, had the water running over my head, and I was like, today's the day, today's the day, today's the day. And then for some
Wow.
reason, something just came over me and it just said, yeah, today's the day. You're not going to kill yourself. You're going to make a decision to do whatever it takes to do the best you can with what you have. Like, that's the day.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that defining moment that
Yes.
turns your life around?
Yes.
Everyone's had one, right? I know
Oh, yeah.
you have from your story. You've had major stuff. So,
Yes.
everyone, there's always that moment. And that was the day I was like, nah, that's it. So I got dressed, got out of the shower, got dressed, got on the phone, and I called every single psychologist, counselor, doctor. And I was like, I can't get physically better. You know, I'll
Mhm.
never walk again,
Right.
but I need to get mentally better.
Yes. Yes,
Does that
so
make
important.
sense?
It does. Yes, so and so important, yes.
Yeah. So I made the decision from that moment forward. I was like, I can't change my physical life, but I can change my thoughts. And
You
that's why I
can.
say to
Yes.
people, like, if you change your thinking, if you change your thoughts, you can change your life.
Amen. You can.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm proof. Like, and
You
everyone, yeah.
are.
So yeah. So what happened was, yeah, like I said, I just saw every single doctor, psychologist. I read every single personal development book and just trying to get mentally better. Just having the tools, you know, the emotional management to
Mhm.
cope, the tools to get through each day. And that's how I took it, just one day at a time.
Which is, I think, important, otherwise, I think it probably could
Yeah.
get overwhelming, to say the least, I can't even imagine, so,
Yeah.
and here you are to today, I mean, I would never know you ever struggled with any of that,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's days where, you probably still I think I would have always because I'm sure you still would love to walk and surf and everything else you
Of
did,
course. Yeah.
but so do you I mean, do you have anything to do with surfing anymore? Do you coach or do you help
I
people with that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
used to. So, um, for the first probably like 5 years, I couldn't even look at the beach. It
I can
broke my
imagine
heart.
that.
And all my friends were surfers. I made surfboards, everything. My life revolved around surfing. So for 5 years, it just broke my heart. But then I got a girlfriend, and yeah, she's like, she's like, I want to learn to surf. I was like, oh no. Anyway, I taught her to surf from scratch. Really
Okay.
good surfer. And then I've coached a lot of other people too. So like a lot of yeah, meeting them down the beach, coaching them, also working on
Oh,
the
cool.
fitness side of things. So a lot of work outside of the water. So teaching them skills and techniques that's going to help them in the water. So that was, yeah, cool. And I've coached, yeah, a lot of people, yeah, on surfing from intermediate to advanced surfing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was always a double-edged sword. Like I always go down the beach, I'm coaching them, it'd feel good. And then it would get to the point where it's like, I'm sick of teaching, but I just want to be in that water.
Yeah, you wanna be the one that that can do the surfing, and I
Yeah.
can very much understand that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
if anyone's has a passion in life, a sport, just like
yeah.
just for a minute, like just something you're passionate. What is something you're passionate about that you've done a lot of your life? Like,
Oh, I've always liked to help people,
yeah,
that because we kinda talked about that yesterday, um, I collecting stuff. I like traveling. I
yeah,
actually collect vintage Christmas items, but
nice,
I want people to be happy, I just
yeah,
want people to life's short, and, one reason why I do this podcast.
yeah,
Everybody can catch their dream or, even if it's you take the scenic route, you
yeah,
know, but, just being around people, and
Yeah.
helping people and
So
whatever way it is.
So for yourself, like that's like very important to you because it's not just about yourself. It's like, you're helping people, you like traveling, everything. So just imagine if that was you could just never do that again.
I would
Like
hate it.
something extremely, yeah, it makes life difficult. So
Yeah,
it's like, and everyone can relate in some way. Someone's passionate about something. So for me, yeah, surfing I still think about it every day. I fantasize
I
about it
bet.
every day. I think about it. Yeah, I dream about it. I still dream about it every night. It's the
I could
same with
see
my
that.
construction job. In construction, I absolutely love my job, and I still have dreams that I was a what you call a steel fixer in Australia, but they call it, I think, an iron worker over
Oh,
there.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
still have dreams that I'm doing that because I absolutely love the job, but I can't. But yeah, so just having that, I've always tried to replace that feeling, if that makes sense.
It does,
Uh,
and I
yeah,
understand that too, very much.
yeah,
'Cause you need something. That's what gets you up for a new
yeah,
day, another day, which you
yeah.
get you out of bed. You have to have
You're
something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
So
so your wife, I mean, what is she just does she do something besides help you with all this, or does she work
yeah,
at her own job?
yeah, yeah. So I met my wife, like my other wife, we got divorced in
Okay,
2004, I think it was, or three. Yeah,
okay,
three. But yeah, I met my wife Becky. Yeah, she's originally from El Salvador, and yeah, sh long story short, okay. So I wanted to learn Spanish. I've always been
okay,
loved yeah, as a
right,
surfer, as a surfer, I watched a movie about Costa Rica and Mexico when I was younger. Ever since then, I
okay,
have a fascination with Central America, all those
yeah,
places, and I wanted to learn Spanish. So I had a friend in common. Becky had a friend in common. That's my wife, and she said she'll teach you Spanish. And I'm not joking, the chemistry from the start was just on.
dude,
Yeah. So it
it
was
was
like, by the third lesson, it became unprofessional. We went on a date for tacos. So,
that's cool.
um, yeah, so that's how I met Becky in 2012, and we just hit it off straight away. And she came to Australia in 2010, and
Okay,
she was a permanent resident. Like she came here, she was a permanent resident. She was going to live in Australia forever. Then she met me, and we've been together ever since.
cool,
She's had all sorts of jobs from cleaning. She's also been like a lecturer at the University of Adelaide, like very
okay,
high position. She's a very intelligent, smart woman, but now she has her own business,
nice,
mentoring and coaching women to start a business.
very
Yeah.
good too.
So,
Very
but she's an amazing lady. Like, from day one, she didn't even care about my disability. Like, she's so
that's cool too.
positive. And I remember about 6 months after we met, we were in the bathroom and we we're brushing our teeth.
Uh-huh.
And I said to her, I just looked at her, I said, "You do realize I'm in a wheelchair, right?" And she just like gave me a love tap across the head, like, "Don't be
Aw,
stupid." Like,
I
yeah,
love
she's
that.
amazing. So, and we've traveled the world. Like, together, we've caught, I worked it out the other day, like 63 international flights, traveled the
Wow.
world. Like, we do heaps of stuff together and we're very close and we work
Uh-huh.
very hard on our relationship because no matter
Very
how much you love someone, it
Yep.
takes work,
It
like
does. Yeah,
it
it
does.
does.
So, and that's what I love about her because I'm right into personal development and she is too. So we just grow together.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
but, but yeah, for a long time I was very independent. Like when I say independent as a quadriplegic, that means I could transfer in and out the car by myself. I
Okay.
could go to the shops by myself. I can drive. I can get in and out of bed. But after 28 years being paralyzed, you age very quickly. So I'm only 48,
Really?
but I've got the body of like a 90-year-old person that's, yeah. So
Wow.
the last year or two, it has impacted our marriage because, I have a lifter now to get me in and out of bed. Like
Mhm.
instead, I used to just do it myself. I used to dress
Sure.
myself. So now, yeah, now my wife has to help me a lot more and she's cool with it, but we did have to work around that. But in a nutshell, my wife's just been awesome from the start. So yeah.
It sounds like it. I would love to meet her too.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, so do you have a favorite places you travel to? With all that you
Yep.
traveled, I mean, that's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So my favorite place is like Latin America. I love El Salvador.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we've been going since 2000. The first time I went was 2017, and at the time, it was the most dangerous country in the world. I was so scared.
I
But once
can
I went
understand that one.
there once I went there and stayed there for 6 weeks and amongst the gunshots every day and people getting shot and, like, I have
Wow.
stories about that. It was hectic. Driving down the road in the middle of the day, you couldn't stop at a red light. It was very
Oh,
stressful,
wow.
but at the same time, it changed my life because I was like, "If I can travel to El Salvador, I can go anywhere in the world." Like,
True. True,
so,
yeah. Good way
yeah,
to
so
look
I've
at
been
it.
to El Salvador 4 times and spent a total of 8 months over there. Been
Wow,
to
wow, wow.
Mexico, Chile, yeah, Hawaii a couple of times, Fiji, Bali.
Okay, there's
But
some really nice
my
places there.
yeah, and yeah, we're going to Bali again this year. But yeah, my favorite place is just El Salvador. But as I've said to you, my big dream is to travel the United States. Like, I would love
Yes.
to go through, yeah, Nebraska, and the Midwest. I don't know. I'm right into, like, because I grew up riding horses. I love the stories of the Western days and
There
I don't
you
know.
go.
I'm in love with all that stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, you should. I mean, Nebraska and going to Wyoming is really cowboy and all
yeah,
that. I mean, there's so much
yeah,
history here and how
yeah,
tough those people were to, because there was nothing here when they were going across.
yeah.
I
That's
wouldn't have made it.
resilience.
If I were one of those pioneers, I would have been gone right at the beginning.
Yeah,
So they were
I've
tough.
researched so much about it, and it's like, ooh, yeah, that would have been as much as I fantasize about it and love the idea of it. It would have been tough times. You had
Oh,
to
it
be
would have
resilient
been.
as tough as.
Yeah, I mean, I just know the weather we have. We have modern conveniences. I mean, we have
Yeah,
blizzards come up, in like 3 minutes, and then we have tornadoes, and I mean, hail. I mean, we get a variety of weather here, that's for sure. And I can't imagine
yeah,
we're in a building. They were just out in the open there.
yeah.
I mean, we had a few years ago, we had hail the size of grapefruit. So
Wow,
that would have hurt. It probably
that
would
would
have.
kill you.
That would.
Yeah.
That is for
That
sure.
would
So
that would kill you. I was trapped in my car not long ago. Yeah, with hail the size of golf balls.
that's
And
big
I was
enough.
trapped in there and all the cars around me, all their windows were getting smashed. I'm sitting
Yep.
in my car and it got written off. Like, they just wrote the car off. They're like, the insurance company's like, this car's totally damaged.
Yep.
So it was scary. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah,
See, you're ready for Nebraska. You're ready for the Great Plains
ready.
here.
Yeah. I
See,
wouldn't go in the cold. It's a mission. Like, it's, to wear all those layers and,
yeah,
yeah,
it is cold. It bites
yeah,
when the wind's blowing 30 or 40 mile an hour and the snow is blowing. It's miserable.
yeah,
You can't see even your hand out in front of your face.
yeah,
That's when I want to go to Bali and all the other places you've been talking to.
yeah,
It's like I understand why people leave this area when it's winter,
yeah,
but no, one thing I always say, we really appreciate really nice weather because we don't get it that
yeah,
often. That's for sure. So,
yeah,
so last night we talked about it because I know you have a heart to help people. I mean, you
yeah.
do really do, and I love your YouTube channel. And what is the name of your YouTube channel for everybody?
Roll with the punches.
Okay,
We can
awesome
put the
name.
link there after if you got somewhere to put the link, but it's called
Yes,
Roll
we
with the
will put that in show
Punches.
notes.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
a boxing term because in boxing you're rolling with the punches so you don't get hit
true.
and you're protecting yourself. And, like, obviously every day there's punches thrown at me, not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, life, there's bladder
Oh
problems,
yes.
bowel problems, just life problems. Yeah, for anyone, but yeah, especially being in a wheelchair too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, roll with the punches. I share my full on story there, which is a bit more,
It,
yeah,
it
heavy.
it's very good.
Yeah, and just life and stuff like that. So, yeah.
No, so I always ask on the Dreamcatcher podcast. So when you were younger, when you were a kid, what did you think you were going to grow up to be?
What I what I hoped to be, like, in a fantasy, was a pro surfer. It would have
Okay, I
never
wondered what
happened.
that would be it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it was like, I was a very advanced surfer, but I wouldn't have been pro. Like, I can just tell you straight up. Like, as much as I wanted to be, um, yeah. But my biggest dream was just traveling the world. Like, that was my
Okay.
dream. Like, just traveling. Um, yeah, I'll be honest, that's it. Like, I couldn't really think much past
That's
that. It
that's a
was
pretty good
traveling.
dream. I mean, I like
Yeah,
that. So have you traveled around like Europe
I have
and
been to. Yeah, I've been to England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. and I've
Okay.
surfed over there too. When I was
Have you?
15, I
Okay.
surfed in England. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. So, yeah,
No, that is
yeah.
awesome.
I wanna go again. I do wanna go again at some point, so.
So is there any way you could surf? I mean, is there like something you would think in today's world that they could come up with so you could surf? I mean, being on something, or
Yeah,
is there something that I don't know about that is
yeah.
available? There is. Okay.
Yeah, it's called adaptive surfing. So they have
Okay. Interesting.
surfboard, and you just lay down. Or some people, obviously, depending on your level of injury. For me, I laid down, and I've done it like 3 times, but
Okay.
it's not the same for me. It's not the
I could
same
see that.
feeling, and it's probably got a lot to do with drowning, and like
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
all
that
that
would be
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Like so, it's for me, it's not the same. But there's actually like world champions. They have like a championship tour for
Okay.
people for adaptive surfing, and yeah, I'll watch them. I think they're amazing.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
I've never heard of
but
that until now.
it's just it's not for me. I've had the closest thing I can do to like replace it is having I get a lot of joy and a lot of like adrenaline and excitement out of having these conversations. Like
I
so
can
remember
tell.
how I said I've been trying to replace surfing for years, but I guess what we call it like a stoke. You're stoked in surfing, that excited feeling, but I do get it from, having these conversations, doing public speaking, helping people and traveling.
Yep.
That's the
I get that.
closest I can get to it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, because something else I'd like to share. So, apart from my accident and trying to cope and deal with the shift of going from very physically active to a person in a wheelchair over
Yeah.
those years, as I mentioned to you, like a lot of my friends and family have also died by suicide, so I've had to
Oh,
deal with that,
wow.
and a few friends were murdered and stuff like that. So I've had to deal with that as well as my own mental health issues and life itself. But then I told you as well in 2016, I was on my work break and I was getting some lunch, and this man came up to me and he grabbed me and he tried to set me on fire. In a nutshell, he tried to set me on fire. He had a little thing of gasoline, a lighter,
Wow.
but luckily his lighter didn't work. They caught him later. He set a lady's head on fire, and he went to jail. Anyway,
Good.
in a nutshell, from just losing a lot of friends and family to suicide, the man trying to set me on fire over that period of time, coming into COVID with all the lockdowns,
Mhm.
I got PTSD. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, if you've because you've watched my story, if you watch, I'm
Yep.
hyper like fidgety, like I'm constantly moving. I'm constant. If you watch my video,
Mhm.
that was right in the height of my PTSD
Oh,
when I
really?
filmed that
Okay.
video. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see I just can't sit still. I'm like like just constantly moving and stressed. And yeah, so I've also had to overcome that as well. So um
How
just through yeah,
how did
sorry.
you overcome that?
The first thing was identifying what it was. So
Okay.
how I overcame anxiety was first knowing what it was. At the time, I had never had anxiety before, but once the doctor put a name to it, then I could kind of go to work and go, okay, it's anxiety. Start researching how can I overcome it. So with PTSD for me, like I was super hyper vigilant, didn't want to go anywhere. I was scared someone was always going to hurt me. Always constantly
I
looking
can
over my
understand that.
shoulder. Yeah, and nightmares and stuff like that. So the way I first went to the doctor, I said I'm having these feelings. He's like, you got PTSD. And then from there we went to work on a lot of breathing exercise, so a lot of
Okay.
mindfulness meditation,
Okay.
yeah, and a lot of other kind of little different techniques. And then just having conversations too with my psychologist and counselor, like just like, what are the chances of that going to happen again? How can you maybe
True.
prevent that from happening again, but
Yeah.
while still living a life? Like just nutting through it, if that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. Just having
Yeah.
conversation, working through
I
it.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
definitely
mean,
working on my breathing to regulate my nervous system. Yeah.
okay. So do you meditate?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I not so much meditate. I guess I do, but I listen to this mindfulness meditation that, yeah, I guess I don't know. I've never really thought about. I guess I do meditate because I fall asleep sometimes, or my mind just goes blank, and I guess that's what I need. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and going back to that guy, so why did that person try and do that? I mean, were they mentally not there or
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a very well known criminal in our area. Like he'd been in and out of jail lots of times, like for horrific crimes.
Wow.
very well known to the police out in the streets. And when they actually caught the guy, the police said to me, they said, we don't mean to sound terrible, but we've been hoping something happens, not hoping, but so just so they could lock him away. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah,
Like,
oh, yeah.
not hoping that he'd hurt someone, but
Right, right.
they
Yeah.
were waiting for the opportunity because they knew it was going to happen, that he'd do something totally terrible, and then they
Wow.
could lock him away. But with the justice system here in Australia, he was only locked up for about 6 months.
Oh,
And
not
that's after
long.
setting, like, he was trying to set me on fire. And then, like I said, he set a whole woman's head on fire. Like, her whole head was on fire when they caught him.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
like on fire. And so she obviously, I don't know what happened to her. I don't know too much, but
Wow.
so he was locked up for about 6 months. And then about a year later, I was in the city again. And yeah, I saw him just run up and kick someone in the back. Just kick him in the back, then beat him up. So he's out on the
Wow.
street being a menace again. So that
Unbelievable.
kind of triggered me again. It's like, damn,
I
like this
yeah, I
guy's
can
out here.
definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but now I'm just, yeah, I'm fine now. I don't have any like PT. I mean, I've got to manage my stress levels and stuff.
I
Otherwise, it can come
understand that,
back.
yeah. I would
But
think that
I'm in a good place and my mindset's good. And I just think very logically too. Like, I'm
mhm,
just like, yep, like, I went through that. It's understandable. I'm going to feel like this. What are the chances it happen again? How can
yeah,
I prevent it?
yep,
And I just be safer. Like,
yeah.
I still live my life and go everywhere, but, yeah,
I can't even imagine that. I mean, I understand you having the PS, I mean, that is just one thing you would never think that would happen to a person, it's
yeah,
just unbelievable. So,
yeah.
so you said do you speak in front of people a lot on stage?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I used to. I started in 2007. So I
Okay.
started with like water safety talks, which I'm very passionate about because I don't want anyone going through what
I
I've been.
can understand that.
It does happen a lot, unfortunately, especially summertime here. There's a lot of people with spinal injuries. But what happened was, what I found is that, so I started working for an insurance company that would go to talks on water safety, and people see the signs, and the signs say no diving, and they see it, but they don't really
You
understand it.
know,
But when I'm sitting there in a wheelchair, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, now it makes
yeah, that
sense.
makes yeah, the connection there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the connection happens. So, yeah, I'd go talk to like either really young kids. I'd have to change my story a bit because it's very traumatic, but or adults. And then it started there. And from there, I got into like talks like because of all my experience with like family members that suicide, I got into suicide prevention. Then I got into mindset, and then from there, I've done a lot of public speaking on like and trainings on like
Okay.
mindset, emotional intelligence, my story, resilience, sales training. But yeah, my favorite
Wow.
is like mindset
Uh-huh.
and emotional intelligence because
Excellent.
I believe to navigate life successfully and the best that you can, you need a solid mindset, a positive
Yes.
mindset,
Yes.
as realistic as possible because
Yeah,
let's be realistic. You can't always be positive all the time,
that is
but
true.
the best that you can and emotional intelligence. So
Yeah.
it's like managing your emotions because how many
Very
times have people got themselves in trouble because of their ego?
yeah.
Does that
Yeah,
make
ego
sense?
can get you definitely in trouble, that's for sure. So,
Ego can get you killed
yeah, yeah, very
over what?
much. Yeah, it really
So it's
can.
just having that emotional intelligence and managing those emotions and that kind of stuff. So that's my favorite. Yeah, my favorite subjects. So yeah.
Okay. So, have you written a book or do you like to write?
I'm halfway through.
Oh, you are
I'm
writing a
halfway
book.
through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a mission. I started it in El Salvador in 2022,
Okay.
but it's still going. I'm halfway through. But yeah, it's going to
That's
be
good.
pretty cool. So it's going to
That
be
is
like a my story, personal development book. But my plan is to finish it this year.
cool.
Yeah. So
That is so excellent. So, do you have a
yeah.
podcast yourself?
No, I only have my YouTube, and then I just have my mentoring business. I call it a mentoring business.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I got my YouTube channel, which I just use to inspire and help people,
You
which I
do?
know it
I was
has.
impressed with it last night when I looked at that. So,
Yeah, and I mean, it's not full on professional like this or anything. Like this is I call professional, but it's a bit rough and rugged. My YouTube channel, but it's
I like it.
okay. Yeah, thank you. And
Yeah.
then I got my mentoring business, which my wife actually helped me create. And what it was, it's just everything I've learned over the years to help me have that mindset, that emotional intelligence. I just created this 6-week program. Yeah, just to give people a solid foundation to navigate life, if that kind of makes sense. Like,
Okay, yeah.
um, yeah, and that's fun. Like, but I will be getting back into more talks, like
Okay.
more public speaking and stuff like that. But just help
Maybe
like yourself. I like helping people.
so, I do they have TED Talks down in Australia?
They do
Would
have
you do
TED
a
Talk. I
TED
haven't done
Talk?
a TED Talk,
Would
no.
you want to?
Oh, I'd do a TED Talk, no
I could
problem.
see you
Yeah,
doing it. I could
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
see you and
yeah, yeah.
being very,
I've done the equivalent of TED Talks, like, yeah, like not well, some of them have been recorded, but yeah, and stuff like that. So TED Talk, it doesn't scare me or anything, but yeah, I'd definitely do it. But I like talking to like school kids, I like,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
corporate companies and stuff like that. So yeah,
Very, very cool. So, let's say 5 years from now, is there something that you would like your life to look like in 5 years that you're working towards?
absolutely. Yeah. So I always say, and this is what I teach, there's that saying, like people, what is it? People that lack vision perish. So if you don't have a goal,
True.
and it's true. Like if yeah, whatever you believe, like that's one of the best things. Yeah, you gotta have goals and a vision for your future. Otherwise, yeah,
Amen.
you're just gonna struggle. So my vision for the future is just be as healthy as I can be. So I'm constantly working on my health, my
Cool.
mental, continue having a healthy marriage with my wife. So what that
Excellent.
means for me, it's not we came from both sides. We came from families that pretended to be perfect. You know, on the outside world, everyone's like, "Oh, the perfect family. Oh, look at them in the
Yeah,
behind the things." It
doesn't
was
exist.
toxic,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
ours is like have a healthy marriage as much as possible and be an example for people because we believe in marriage.
Mhm.
I personally want to move to El Salvador from Australia.
Oh,
I want to
really?
live in El Salvador. Yeah, I love it over there. So
Okay, you got me intrigued now. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's just super fun. Like it's I love it over there. So even if it was only for a year, I'd be happy with that. But I think I'd be happy just living there full time. Um,
Cool.
obviously keep helping a lot of people through my business and building my
Yeah.
business. And then another goal that I've got is I really want to get some. I already do, but I want to get some qualifications because here you got to have a lot of qualifications. I help people do it already, but
Okay.
and that's helping people like reset their nervous system, like just
Oh,
calm
yes.
their nervous system and, find that, help them find that inner peace as realistic as possible. Cause like we said, life's got ups and downs, right?
Oh, it
So
does that.
it's,
Yeah. No.
yeah, but I find a lot of people, they're addicted to chaos and drama. That's one of the big things.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't
Yeah.
wanna
A
be
lot
addicted.
of people I come across are
Mm.
addicted to chaos and drama. Like that's where their relationships are so up and down, their life, everything
Wow.
like that. Yeah, and just having that inner peace, that inner calm as
It's
realistic as possible.
we're so
So
much.
that's the vision for the next 5 years. Move to El Salvador, continue working on my marriage, be an example for others, work on my business, and get some official qualifications in that resetting of the nervous system, and just help people, just quieten down
That sounds
that
excellent.
noise.
You're gonna be
So
busy man. That's a lot of things to get in
yeah,
5 years. I mean,
ah,
it all excellent, all very good.
and finish the book, Mark. I got to finish that book too.
Oh, you
So
will. I have no
I got to
doubt you'll
finish
get
that
that
book.
pace.
So yeah,
So, you probably be on another book.
well, we do have plans for a couple of books actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
very awesome.
yeah.
No, does writing come easy to you?
Talking does, but writing, I've been struggling. Like
I struggle with that too.
I think,
Yeah.
I think what it is, like I can go and talk to publicly and do a talk, and I don't beat myself up or anything. But when I'm writing this book, I think I've written it about 10 times already.
I can relate with that one, yes.
You can, and
I
I
can,
think
yes.
I think my biggest problem is myself, and I just got to get out of the way of myself and just flow and write it and just be like happy with it. Does that kind of make sense? But I
It
keep
does.
going
It
back, I'm like, "Damn, I should change that a bit or make this
yeah,
like." So, yeah,
yeah. Mine changes from one day to the next. It's like, "What was I thinking when I wrote that yesterday?" or whatever it was. It's like,
yeah,
"Nah, that no way."
yeah.
I mean,
I relate. I'm
uh,
exactly the same. Like, it's, yeah, so I just gotta get out of the way of myself a thing and just do it.
excellent, very much.
Yeah,
So Corey, before we end the podcast, anything else you would like
sure.
to share with the audience?
Uh, Let me think. Not really.
Okay.
A message or something? Like, I don't know, like, even if I haven't, I think I've shared a lot of
You
messages.
have, and you're so
Um,
inspirational. You are
yeah,
very
I think,
inspirational. I and thank you for being my guest.
yeah,
Um, I I
I got a
I
c mm,
I can't
I got a
wait until we
couple of
cross paths.
messages.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Oh, I got a couple of messages that
Okay,
they're not my quotes, but these are the things I kinda live by. So the first thing, that I live by, there's a guy called Jim Rohn. Do you know Jim Rohn at all?
I do.
Ah, I love Jim Rohn, right?
Yep, yep.
So he says, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better."
Amen.
Yep.
Yep,
Don't yeah, like, what was the other one? I can't remember. That's my favorite. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better.
yeah.
And for me, that's mindset. Like, you can get
It
through
is.
anything if you
Mindset is
change
so
your
important.
mindset, work on your mindset,
Yep,
everything like that. And I think I just I guess just take, yeah, every day as it comes,
yep,
try your best,
yep.
and yeah, be kind to yourself.
Amen on
That was
that
one
one.
of my biggest obstacles, is
Yes.
not truly liking, valuing, respecting, or loving myself. It
Yep.
took me a long time to get to that point where I could literally look in the mirror and say, I'm happy with who you are, Corey.
I hear you.
I'm proud of you. Does that
Yep.
make sense? So
It
the
makes a lot.
relationship with yourself is vital to navigate life. If you don't have a solid foundation, a good relationship with yourself, if you don't like, value, or respect yourself, no one else will like, value, or respect you.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And
So
that is a great way to end the podcast. I mean, that is so important to take that to heart. That's
yeah,
what you need to have. So, Corey, thank you for joining me on the podcast.
yeah. Thank
And
you.
I look forward to keeping in touch. And maybe come down to El Salvador when you move down there. So I'd
Yeah,
love
you
to
can
go to
come and
Australia
stay.
too, but
Yeah.
that's a long flight. I mean, I want to stay a long time if I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
So
It's a long way from, especially Nebraska. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
adds a
it's a
bit
long
to it.
ways. I thought Italy was long a ways, and but that's Australia is way way longer than
Yeah.
Italy was. Italy was let's see, it was 10 hours, and then but almost 13 hours. So that was plenty.
Oh wow. Well,
So
I got plenty of story. I got stuck on one plane for 26 hours once from LA to Australia.
oh my
Same
word, that's a
plane,
long time.
26 hours straight. I'm not
Oh
joking. It's a story for another time, maybe. So, yeah, I got
yeah.
stories.
Then
Yeah.
we'll touch bases and see how things are progressing and doing it maybe another podcast in the future.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thanks, man.
We'll check back and I look forward to that. And
Yeah.
thank you, Corey.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for
much for
having
being on
me.
the podcast. And then take care and enjoy your day. Your day's
Yeah.
just getting
Thank you.
started.
It is. Thank you very much. Thanks,
Thank
mate.
you.